So I was watching over the maturity video and felt that I might have given, even although everything that I said there was true, I don't want you to think this is a case of the other person shouldn't carry any load. That's not what I'm saying. Or you should do everything. That is also not what I'm saying. I am saying, however, the more you have happiness with yourself, the more you stop looking at the other person, you find personal happiness. You bringing personal happiness in a relationship means you can ask or make a comment to them without you feeling that level of intensity because you're vexed over what they're not doing. It's a case of how to utilize your energy is what it really comes down to. We're in a relationship. We get spend half of our time fighting because there's always something you're doing not the way I would. It's true. You know, their approach to something and your approach to something is different. One of the things I want us to remember is you have to trust that this person that you fell in love with has some good qualities. There's some brilliance to them. They got this far. They made you, they convinced you of potential, of grace, of whatever. They're not foolish. Stop treating them like they're foolish. Stop allowing them to play games with you. Because I think that a lot of times it's a case of you taking on more than you should. So this happens a lot with the weaker one in the relationship, not the weaker sex. The one who thinks they somehow, the other person is better than them on some level. You think that they're doing you some type of favor. No. You both are fantastic individuals. But you aren't recognizing your own fantasticness. You always allow for them. So, for example, you're always overcompensating to get their love, to get their attention, to get their affection. But you are deserving of it. It's not something you need to fight for. It's something you need to just accept that you are deserving of. It doesn't mean they don't love you. It means you're so busy cuddling them that they don't get a chance to practice their muscles. So if they don't do something, you take it on. If they gripe about something, you say, all right, don't do it, I can do it myself. That was a regular with me. That was a regular. The person after a time uses it as a general manipulation. And really what it was I frightened to do it. And I needed to say it. That's okay. It's okay to be frightened to do it. You still gotta do it though. Not I taking on your responsibilities, but I acknowledging you have to handle your own stuff. I love you, but part of loving you is not handling stuff I didn't. That is yours to deal with. You said you were going to do this. I trust that you're going to do it whenever you get to it. And at the point I can no longer wait, I'll do it. But I'll make sure it costs you. Because I'm not gonna, no. Why we stress ourselves, we get upset, and it comes down to boundaries. Sometimes it comes down to know up to what you will do, know up to what you will not do. Okay, so let's use, instead of, because we think only in terms of husband wife, let's use our kids for example. Because if you see it role playing out with your kids, it role played out with your partner, it role plays out with your friend at work, because it's you that always allows it. So I say to my children, you need to you need to start leaving your clothes by house. My friend, the garbage needs to be done. So my son says to me, oh mom, I didn't feel well, I was so busy. I said, but you can't do a job, you need to delegate it, but you don't get off. Did you say, mom, I ain't feeling good, can you handle the garbage? So that the job was still dealt with or passed on? No, you didn't. So if you don't communicate that to me, I don't know. Because I know I asked you to do it, and it's something you're supposed to be handling. So at the point you can't, it's up to you to communicate that. Don't assume. Right? I say to my son, start leaving your clothes all over my house. How do you know? We're not having this conversation. If there's ever been a time that you ever did it, stop doing it. That's the request. Not getting into an argument with you. I'm protecting my energy, but I'm holding my space for what I will and will not do. I clean the house because I like my house clean. But if I come across their stuff while I'm cleaning, I don't pick them up. I sweep them to the side of my space and continue along because I'm not handling their job for them. It's their clothes. When he notices his clothes have been swept, he said he had intended to put them back on, or he'd intended, whatever. It's not my business. The part of it they did was a part I always do. His sister was complaining. Somebody kept leaving the baby's diapers in the bathroom. Late, she'd stepped out of them. They were in the bath, come back out, and nobody picked them up. And she said, you're always leaving them in the bathroom. And I hate it. Could you stop it? It isn't that she didn't pick up a few of them. It is the point when you don't want to do it anymore. You say, or you come up with an alternative plan of how you're going to handle it so that you are not breaching your own. I can't do everything in the house. I just can't. To do the thing that I'm good at. I'm not going to pretend, and this is where a lot of us make mistakes. Before you take on a job, I want you to ask yourself, is this sustainable for me? So, I remember when I first got married, my husband asked if I would press a shirt for him, and I said, no, I don't press. And he said, what? I said, well, I don't press clothes for myself, so I definitely am pressing one for you. He said, so you're pressing for your husband? I said, I don't know, but if I don't do it for me, I don't see why I'd be doing it for you. I could help you with it sometimes, I guess, but right now, no. No, another time, I just gave him a pressed shirt. And the reason, I got to speak. The reason I said no was because it's not something I plan to do all the time. If I did it the first time, he'd think I always do it. If I do it when I'm doing laundry and I'm doing the kids and I don't mind doing it, it's fine. But as I give you the impression that this is something I'm always going to do, you then take it for granted. You then complain about it. I don't take on jobs that aren't sustainable. I don't give you the impression I'm always going to do something I don't like doing. Because you, then, the things I love doing, you don't even have to ask me, it done do. So anything you ask me for, it must be some sort of stretch for me. I ain't doing it. Because I ain't giving you that impression that I do stuff that I don't think I could sustain. And that's half of the problem. You take on jobs you couldn't sustain. You don't always walk up. These days I cook when I feel like. If you don't like it, cook the rest. State your kids. State your reality. Make peace with it. Does the other person like it? No. So if it is, for example, in markets, if it is that when I cook, you don't, like the kids are involved. So it's a case of that if I do it every other day again, I just cook more of the day I do cook and we eat leftovers in the space in between. And then we go back to the days I do cook. I'm not saying you have to cook. But if you're one of those people who say you need fresh food every day, that will not be me. Do not take on jobs that are not sustainable for yourself. Because it becomes the bone of your contention. It becomes a constant. Because now, every time you do it, you're going to do it with resentment. The power of the relationship lies within your reaction to things. You doing. You promise things you know you don't want to do. You commit to things you know you're not. Don't. For the sake of somebody pretending that somebody likes you. You either like me or you don't like me. The fact that I do this or don't, this should not be up as an issue. It shouldn't be a decided. No. Do the things you like to do. So you're always fair, you're always honest, and you can be consistent and sustainable. And the things you don't, that both of you here, get somebody else to do. It's part of life. Don't quarrel over it. Don't waste a lot of energy fighting up over it. Be at peace. But again, remember what I said. Also, some jobs take the emotion out of it. I press no all the time. Doesn't bother me.